all the marketing for this event. They did the logo, they did the Facebook page, the letters. If you corresponded on email, that's been her, not me. I wanted to give her a mic. She said, nope, I'm not going up there. I'm not getting in front of people. But she is really the one who made this happen. She coordinated everything you see here today. Thank you so much, Cody, for all your support. And if you don't know already, we have a table set up in the back where some people brought some advertisements and some business cards. Please, before you leave, take a minute and check it all out. So with that said, if you like this and you enjoy tonight, let us know on your way out so we can do this again. Okay? So now I'd like to introduce somebody. And first off, this was really his idea for the subject for tonight. I think it's genius. So many times, you go to these networking things, you stand in a circle, and they say, tell us your name, and tell us a little bit about what you do. And you go, my name's Drew, and I'm And for me, I really don't like going to those events because I get put in those situations. So David's idea was like, let me come in and teach everybody how to do a 15, 30-second elevator pitch. So when you're put in those situations, you know what to do. So with that, I'd like to introduce David Goat, by way of Living Water Church.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Drew. Marriott Marquis in Atlanta. Big, beautiful hotel. It's got the atrium inside, with the glass elevators that you can watch as you watch yourself going up. The elevator goes up 20 floors in about 2 minutes. I'm at a conference. People are drinking. Therefore, people are talking. And I'm just wanting to get to know people. And I get into the elevator, and hey, how you doing? One guy in there. It's like, what's up? I looked down at his badge, and it said, Aero Consulting. So I asked the question, an actual elevator pitch question, because we're in the elevator, and I got about 2 minutes to get to my floor. So, what do you do for a living? Anybody been in that situation before? You've been asked that? Drew just said it. Nope, this gentleman said no. No one's ever asked me what I do, because I'm retired, right?
No.
Okay.
They figured me out pretty quick.
Well, this guy starts talking, and talking, and talking, and talking, and I kind of glance up at the lights binging up there, and it gets to the floor number 10, ding, okay, doors open up, he's still explaining the process and everything they do, and how much people love what they do, and here's this really cool new product that we did, and here's what it does. And he didn't get the hint that I wasn't tracking with him. In fact, I was worried that he wasn't going to stop talking until I got off the elevator. We finally get to the 20th floor. I'm like, oh, thanks so much. There's my floor. And I do this, the little, edging away. He's still talking. Still talking. I'm holding the door open. He's still talking. Like, all right. Nice to meet you. Boom. Wrong way to do it. In fact, you got about 10 seconds if you want to get someone's attention. And I'm going to talk to you about a template tonight that you can all use. You're not going to just sit here and listen. You're going to do a workshop. By the end of this exercise, she's smiling like, good, I want to do some work. Yes. And my lovely wife, Jane, is passing out some handouts if you want to take notes on there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, clap for Jane. Clap it up for Jane. Thank you, Nathan. That experience in Atlanta taught me one thing for sure. The purpose of an elevator pitch. What is it? Anyone?
Share what you do.
Share what you do.
Introduce yourself.
Share everything you do.
Why you're here?
Why you're here? Okay, I like that. But what's the goal? Why would you even bother to tell? Make more money? Yeah. Educate. Okay. So if you say you have 30 seconds. Drew said 15 to 30 seconds. That's pretty tight. I've seen people go up to about a minute and still have it be compelling. After a minute, you all start looking at your phone and whatever. That's about the attention span you have these days. But the goal of the elevator pitch is not to sell what you do. It's to get another conversation, right? That's all you want, right? Nathan's like, of course. I'm going to pause after about a minute and look at the person I'm talking to and say, is this interesting, or do you want more, right? So it's the movie trailer and it's not the movie. That's the first way to think about this. And whenever you see a movie trailer, what do they have? The highlights, the most exciting scenes, the dramatic moment. It leaves some intrigue. In fact, everything you say in an elevator pitch begs another question if you're doing it right, because that's what you want. You want them to say, wow, you know what? This is pretty interesting. I might have a need for this. Let's schedule another conversation. There's lots of stories you can tell in business. You need to tell customer case studies. Maybe you tell your founder story about how you decided to make these delicious cookies and stuff over here. I was talking to you too about that. I'm going to hear your founder story here in a minute. But the elevator pitch is where it begins, because that's where you get their attention. All right, so that's the goal. So what do you think? Well, I'm just going to ask you, before somebody starts to speak in a business presentation or sales pitch, what are you thinking? I think audiences have at least 3 questions they're asking themselves. The first, the minute Kara opens her mouth, I'm asking myself, is this relevant? Like, do I really need to listen to this, or can I kind of multitask and nod and smile and kind of, okay, bye-bye, right? Relevance is immediately relevant. And what's the most relevant thing someone might agree with you on? The problem you solve. Right? And if you're not talking about the problem that you solve in the first 10 seconds, it may not be relevant. First question, is this relevant? The second question is a quality question. Like this gentleman's looking at me right now. He's thinking, do I believe this guy? What's your credibility? The way you're delivering it, the way you're looking at me, or the way you're looking over my shoulder at somebody else while you talk to me. Right? Those things that either build trust or destroy it. So is this relevant? And do I believe you? And what's the third question? I know you all know this. Third question you're asking yourself at the beginning of any business presentation. Thank you! How long is this going to take? Round of applause for her right over here. She got the correct answer. You have a prize. You have a free cookie as a prize, so feel free to go over there and grab that. How long is this going to take? And if they sense that it's dragging or rambling, well, what happens? You lose them. I know you all meet people in person, a lot of one-on-ones, group meetings. Anybody on Zoom? Anybody do meetings over Zoom? Yes? Occasionally? Yeah? How do you know when you don't have someone's attention in a Zoom meeting? What happens? What's the indicator?
Text off camera.
Off camera, turn it off, texting. How do you know if they're texting?
Their eyes are red.
Oh, yeah! Okay, where's my phone?
See the reflection in their glasses.
Yeah, here's the class. This is body language for they're looking at their phone.
Lack of involvement.
That's it. All right. So you know you're looking at body language, you're asking questions, you see if their camera's on. So when you're one-on-one with somebody, like in an event like this, and somebody walks up to you, like I did to several people before we start, raise your hand if I asked you what you do for a living. Come on, 1, 2, okay. A few over here. Some great answers that I heard. I may ask one of you to come up and volunteer, and we'll work on it and make it even better for you. Cody, that won't be you. I know you're terrified. She's like, thank you very much. I love you. All right, so those are the 3 audience questions. Is this relevant? Do I believe you? And how long is this going to take? So now I want you to pair up with a partner. Turn to somebody to your left or your right. You should have just groups of 2. And when I say go, one person say, I'll go first, and deliver your elevator pitch to the other person. The only prompt you give them, listener, the prompt you say is, hey, what do you do for a living? And then they're going to deliver their pitch. It's going to get very loud in here, which actually simulates what happens at conferences, right? You're in a loud bar, drinking, there's music, noise. So you may have to speak up, track with them as best you can as a listener, and then I'm going to ask for some feedback right afterwards. This should take you no more than 90 seconds, preferably a minute or less. Everybody have a partner? Who's still looking for a partner? No? All right, even the barbecue folks. All right, when I say go, you say, hey, what do you do for a living? And then give them your elevator pitch. And go! Yes, sir, I did. Thank you so much. Too loud.
So we're so excited.
10 seconds.
Blinding.
I wish, yes. I wish I could establish credibility on how amazing
Three, two, one. And give yourselves a round of applause for that hard-won exercise. And let me have you back up here for a second now. So we're chattering, we're laughing. All right, I'd like one person to tell me who had a partner that did a really, really good job with the elevator pitch. Nathan, this one over here too. What's your name, sir?
My name's Chris, but my partner did a great job.
Okay, Chris. Can you stand up for a second?
God, he
Yeah.
did a great job. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, so what's your partner's name?
Scott.
Scott, come on over here. Everybody can see you. All right, clap it up for Chris. All right, so I'm going to quiz you now, and then Scott's going to say yes or eh. Okay, so what problem does Scott solve?
I didn't ask that question.
Okay,
I said, I've known you 2 years. What do you do? I know what your wife does, but I don't know what you
okay.
do.
Did he hint at the problem at all?
He's an attorney.
He's an attorney, so the problem he solves is? Keeps people out of jail, keeps people from losing their business.
Yes.
All right.
Then I asked him how long he's been married to his wonderful wife, because I didn't know that either, and he said 41 years.
Okay, so just in his initial elevator pitch.
No, I don't know.
He
41 is
didn't
a whole lot of months. Yeah.
Okay. And then who does he solve that problem for?
That's a good question. People across the state of
All right.
California, because he's
And
an
then-
attorney for the state of California.
What makes him unique or different? Why would I hire him as an attorney versus another one?
Because he's got 2 wonderful sons.
Oh, just his sons. Okay. Oh, he's saying yes. All right. And what can you expect if you work with him? What kind of benefits or experience would it be like?
Honesty, integrity, and family.
All right. How did he do?
Excellent. Excellent.
All right. Round of applause. That was pretty good. Now, it's the real test. When you practice this, you ask the people who listen to it, so repeat it back to me. And if they repeat the exact words back to you, that means you were clear, you were concise, you took your time. We'll talk about delivery here in just a moment. But just the content, all right, like who had another one that was really good? I was like, well, I'm not going to nominate because Nathan said, Kara, okay. Nathan, come on up here. All right, clap it up for Nathan. Woohoo. All right, sir. Nathan, what problem does Kara solve?
She brings light to darkness, and she makes dry places. She solves the eternal problem for people with Living Water Church. She reminds people who they are in Christ, the authority they have in Christ. She reminds them that whatever's in the vine is also in the branch, so you've got more than enough. And she shows who Jesus is with everybody she loves on.
I gave him a
Wow.
Jesus.
All right, so Kara, was that accurate?
Yes, very.
Okay. It's almost like the church is selling something.
Jesus.
Okay. All right, so that is a
He's
problem.
free.
And then who does she solve the problem for?
Every person on the planet.
Really? People in Bulgaria?
Yes, soon.
Okay. I would imagine it would be you focus on Wilton if, you were at an event with folks from Wilton, but okay, that's good. And then what makes her unique or different in the way she solves the problem?
I would say it's really the vision. I think it's the way, the few minutes that I've known Carrie, it's the way she treats you when she communicates with you, and it's the vision of what they're solving to accomplish and the team they're putting together to make that happen.
Awesome. So she made an impression just in her delivery, right? But also the
100%.
words that she was saying. Okay, and then what can you expect if you go to her church?
A damn good time.
Yeah. That's a great bumper sticker for a church, Nathan. Have a damn good time with Jesus. All right, there we go. All right, round of applause for Nathan. There we go. All right, so let's go through those 4 questions with your own elevator pitch. If you see the handout we set out here, if you have something to write with, sorry, I didn't bring pens, you can tap it out on your phone, whatever it is. I want you to write this out because you're going to deliver it out loud to someone else. Okay, so start with, what problem do you solve? This is that first 10 seconds. If you're an attorney, I would wonder, what kind of attorney are you?
I work for the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
Department of Corrections. So you do what?
I represent the state if we get sued by an inmate.
So you keep the state from paying enormous amounts of money in lawsuits.
That is correct.
Okay, that's a problem that needs to be solved. Okay, excellent. What problem do you solve? Write that on that first line.
No cabins.
I talked to a few people before we started and they were struggling with this. Like, I'm not sure what problem I solved. Anybody need some help? All right, let's talk to the cookie people for a second. Okay, who's in charge of the cookie business here? The dessert business, is you? So what problem do you solve?
Hunger. Right? Hunger. Sugar cravings.
Sugar cravings. Okay, so for an event like this, why did you bring cookie? What problem did you solve?
Everybody needs dessert. You need something sweet after a wonderful barbecue. So I solved that problem.
Nice. And if people didn't have your cookies,
They would go somewhere else to get a cookie, and I don't want them to go anywhere else. They need to come to All Roots Allowed.
oh, now you're getting, yes.
Where your taste buds can be rediscovered. Come to All Roots Allowed where your taste buds can be rediscovered.
Where your taste buds can be rediscovered. I like that. Okay, everybody have their problem statement? Now it needs to be something that's an agreed upon problem. Like people, anybody here in sales, like you sell a product, you know, like you do payment processors, right, Nathan?
Yes, sir.
Will anybody buy your product if they don't agree they have a need for it?
No.
They have to agree there's a problem. So an attention-getting statistic up front, like 8 out of 10, I'm trying to think of an example for corrections. I can't think of one. What would be a startling statistic you might share at the beginning of a little pitch about what you do?
I'd probably go into the amount of outrageous requests our inmates have if they feel they've been wronged. And I do everything I can to protect the taxpayer from having to pay those requests.
So if I said, hey, what do you do? Oh, yeah, that's good. If I said, hey, Scott, what do you do? And you said, you know, inmates make a lot of crazy requests. Yeah, that's an intriguing style. Yeah, well, what kind? Give me an example. What is that? So anytime you make a statement that invites questions, that's good. But don't give away all the information yet. This is how you're getting them into the next conversation. If you have a quick story to share, that might be the answer to the next question where they say, tell me about one of those lawsuits, right? But that's after the elevator pitch. Okay, does everybody have a problem solution? Anyone else want to share one they think they've got it dialed in? He's smiling. What do you do for a living, sir? What problem do you solve?
Transportation logistics business, but when we moved to Wilton, we start doing a little bit different. So.
You get things from one place to the other, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and if you don't do that, what happens?
One more time.
If you're not able to do that, what's the consequence?
Do what?
I'm asking terrible questions here. Yeah, if you don't get the stuff from here to there on the right day, it's a big disaster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we make sure stuff arrives on time. Solves the problem. Excellent. Anybody else? Gentleman over here. What problem do you solve?
Sure, I am a property manager, so you think of me as extra strength Tylenol for landlord headaches.
Oh, I love that. Not just Tylenol, extra strength Tylenol for landlord headaches. Okay, and that's kind of a bumper sticker that would invite me to want to ask, what do you mean? right? What kind of headaches? And now you're in a conversation. So I said that the elevator pitch earns you another conversation. It could be later if they're in a hurry, right? Elevator, ding, I got to get out. Let's schedule something. But right there in that moment, they may be so intrigued. Ooh, tell me more. Now you've drawn them in. You don't want to just keep rambling and talking and talking and talking and hoping something good comes out and hope they're going to buy what you sell. Okay, everybody has a problem? Let's go to the next one. For who? Who do you serve? Could be who you typically serve. Could be a big broad group. Like when you said everyone in the world, I'm already questioning, I don't think Kara's going to be traveling through Europe necessarily. Maybe let's just focus on Central Valley, right? Who do you serve? Who do you solve this problem for? So cookie people, who are your usual customers? Who do you serve? Shout it out.
Anyone willing to drive down Walmart Road.
Okay, so the roots for all, right? Anyone in Walmart, that's very specific. Actually, it's a good thing to be specific. Sometimes you pick a niche, people understand, ooh, they must be a specialist if they do that. And many entrepreneurs that I've worked with don't want to get specific because I don't want to leave anybody out. I could really, like I'm a professional speaker. I could speak to kids in high schools. I can speak to corporate executives. I can speak to entrepreneurs, but pick a lane.
Kara Lane.
Pick a lane. Because the
By
more...
way, her store is on her street that she's talking about, her actual physical store.
And you live right down the street.
Yes,
So you've probably been there before.
Yo, good stuff.
Yeah. So that's just something to consider when you talk about for who. So somebody else who hasn't spoken up yet, who do you serve? Ask you? First, what problem do you solve? Are you with him?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to skip. How about you? You're right there. Are you the business owner?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, what is your name?
Cheryl Pritchett.
Cheryl, what problem do you solve?
I make handmade leather bags for people who want quality leather bags at a reasonable price.
Ooh, so you got the who there, right? It's people who want quality. That's not everybody, right? I shop at the dollar store.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a client. Okay. Somebody. So actually, if you talk to any business plan or strategist, trying to figure out what you don't do is a lot harder than what you do, but it's essential. Somebody else? Who do you serve? Who do you serve? How about over here? Hi, I'm right next to you.
No.
She says no. What problem do you solve?
Every problem I can.
Okay, so are you the business owner?
My father is.
Your father is. What does he do?
He's a general contractor and a real estate developer since the late 50s.
Okay, so he builds stuff.
Yeah, well, he's 86, so not necessarily now, but
Okay.
he still works every day.
And what people does he serve, would you say? Does he have a certain industry that he's big in?
General construction and real estate.
All right, so that commercial or residential?
Commercial and residential.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. Thank
Okay,
you. Good job.
You're welcome.
See? So think about industry. Because when people are asking you, who do you serve? What are they asking? Do you serve people like me? Right? I'm in the healthcare industry. That's very different than people who work in, let's say, college education. Right? You're talking about we serve students, we serve patients, it's different industries, different languages. So if you can narrow it a little bit, it helps people to believe more that you're a specialist. All right, so you have a problem, we have a who. The next one is the one that I rarely hear, but I did hear it today when I was talking to a few of you. This is, how are you different? What makes you unique? Why, when people pick you to make their cookies, why do they pick you? Right? When they're looking for an attorney. What makes Scott special? Right? Because you can just open up, go on Google, whatever, show me an attorney in Wilton, and 10 people pop up. Which one do you pick? Well, let's go to the Yelp ratings. Oh, look, he's got only 4.5 stars, and this first person is very upset. Right? So what makes you unique or different? So who's got an answer that pops in your mind right away to that? How about Jerry or Jen? I already asked. Jerry said, no, not me. Okay. Jerry runs a dog kenneling business, which is near and dear to my heart because we run a German Shepherd rescue. So Jerry, why would someone select your kennel over others?
Because of me.
Because of me, okay. I need more information.
We're out here, we have property, we have indoor, outdoor runs, we offer small group play time, secure facility. It's
Look at
fabulous.
that, 2 or 3 things.
good.
Yes, perfect.
Give her a hand clap.
Round of applause. And so, if somebody's wanting to kennel their dogs, wow, indoor, outdoor runs. Yeah, the other one we went to was all indoors and the dogs were like so depressed, but now they get to run outside. And she seems like a really caring person when I talk to her. That's in her delivery, right? But just the content of what you say, what makes you unique or different? Need one more example. Right here. Okay, Tina. What do you do?
I'm a spiritual healer.
Okay, so what problem do you solve?
I help people manage their stress.
Nice, and what people do you typically help?
People in Wilton and surrounding areas.
Nice, and what makes you unique or different? If I was looking for spiritual healers, and I went to Google, and you popped up with 10 other people, why would I likely select you?
Because it changed my life for the better.
Ah, so you have a personal testimonial that you can share. That would be an intriguing thing, and I have a personal story that, you know, when you're talking to someone in your elevator pitch, and then let them ask you, oh, tell me your story, and then you tell it. Great, round of applause for Tina, very nice. So if you insert that third part, you're gonna stand out from everybody else, I can tell you right now, because I never ever hear it. And you can start this phrase with the word unlike, others, right? So here's my elevator pitch, which is on your sheet there. You know, I very intentionally, each word has been picked over the years because it's what clients have told me. It's very, almost scientifically. I coach professionals to communicate with more clarity and confidence. Okay, who do I serve? Professionals. Is that a problem that needs to be solved? It kind of hints at the problem, right? More clarity and confidence implies that people don't really have enough clarity or confidence. I had a client hire me because that was on my LinkedIn profile. She goes, my team can't speak with clarity or confidence. I need you. The next phrase, I specialize, right? This is the unlike other speaker coaches. I specialize in both on stage and on camera presentation. So that's a differentiator for me. There's lots of speaking coaches, but I spend a lot of time as a video producer, as a talk show host, and I help people look great on Zoom. In fact, anybody here who wants to work with me afterwards, you can get a free 30-minute consultation, hook up on Zoom, and I will make you look and sound fantastic on Zoom. This is my differentiator. Well, that was my differentiator. I do on stage and on camera. And now it's what can you expect? If you work with me, I say my clients get practical advice and honest feedback on how they can become more powerful communicators. I heard that directly from asking so, hey, why'd you pick me? Why do you like working with me? What do other people say about me? They said, well, you give practical advice and you give honest feedback, which I don't get from anybody else, right? They're teams. If you're the boss at the company and you ask, hey, everybody, how do you think my speech was? Great, boss, right? I'm honest with people. So, everybody have that? This is the next one. What can you expect? So if you work with me, you can expect blank. Go ahead and fill that out. If you use our catering business, you can expect high quality food delivered on time with a smile, and it tastes great.
And it's special ingredient.
And it's special.
Love.
And there's love mixed in. I love that. Actually, that would just make me smile and want to ask more, right? I want to learn more. So this is the fourth. What can I expect if I work with you? Write that down. Need a couple of volunteers. Time. So I'm not going to raise my hand because then he comes over there and makes me talk. Okay, here we go. Everybody, Sherry, how are you? Let's do all four things together.
Okay.
Everybody follow along with the template, okay? Problem, for who, why you, and what can I expect?
Well, I help people, specifically busy grandmas, who struggle with their weight, low energy, and hormone changes to learn how to fuel their bodies with balanced nutrition, healthier habits for long-term success. Unlike others, I've been there myself. I've been able to transform my health through 42-pound weight loss after a lifetime of yo-yo dieting and emotional management, which is key. You can expect to have your life and health back, energy to keep up with your grandkids, reduce inflammation so you will feel like you're in your 30s. You will receive one-on-one caring, coaching, and I'll believe for you until you believe for yourself. And then I got this from yours. I offer a free health assessment if you'd like to learn more.
Woo! Nice job, Sherry. That was excellent. Okay. How long was that?
15 seconds.
It was more than 15 seconds. How long do you think it was? I'm just, my clock.
And I tend to talk way too much.
It's okay. It's okay. She was in the 45-second range with that, right? Still less than a full minute, and you were going quickly because you want to get it over with because you got a guy with a microphone in your face. But what did you think of the content of what she said? Just get some reactions.
Excellent.
Yeah? How could she make that even better? Anything you might add or subtract from it? Did any part of it feel like she was going on too much detail? I'm not saying there was. I'm just asking. See, this is focus group impact. Yeah, so you said usually your issue?
Do you work with young people, though, because you said feel
I do work with anybody, but what I've been learning lately is that I speak to my target audience. And your target audience, my ideal client, that's what I'm speaking. I have clients from teenage all the way to the 80s, and I work with men and women, but my ideal client is someone like me. And that's grandmas who are looking to keep their energy up, to keep up with their grandkids and still have energy for your husband afterwards.
That is, wait. She just added something there. Did you hear that? Let's put that one down under benefits. Because the husband might even pay for it if he knows that, right? Yeah. Did y'all hear what she said?
I need to add that one in.
Yeah, she helps. Let's do it again.
So that you can have energy to keep up with your grandkids through the day and still have energy for your husband at night.
Okay, that can be taken several ways. But you know what I love about that? It's so specific. Were you all picturing a grandmother playing with her grandchildren? No. Barbecue guy's like, nope, I'm in the husband later at night. It's all good. So in part of business storytelling, this is a very short story. But when you tell longer stories in business, like a client testimonial or my founder's story, you do want to include details like that and evoke emotion and tell more of your story. Right? But that's after they agree from your elevator pitch, you're worth more time. Right? And that's the next question. So how did you get started? That's another common question. If you've done a great job like she just did, I'd be like, she hinted at that. I had yo-yo dieting. I did it myself. That would be my first question. It's like, ooh, tell me more. How much weight did you lose? What was your... She's just like drawing me in with that. And you have more stories to tell. All right. Anybody have a question before we move on to delivery? Everybody feel like they have something that they could... Yeah, I've got a big smile right here. So I'm going to ask you to be my other volunteer. Yes, you, right here. Hi, what is your name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Hi.
And do all 4 parts if you can.
Nope.
Nope? Do you have your own business?
My paper is blank.
Okay, so good. You're just going to talk from the heart then. Okay, so I'll interview you. Stephanie, what do you do for a living?
I sell coffee from a coffee trailer.
Nice. And who buys your coffee?
People on Wilton Road.
People on Wilton Road?
Yeah, Wilton, I would say, is a community, but commuters, if they know where I'm at.
Okay, what makes you unique or different?
I am a rebel without a cause.
Okay, and the coffee's good, I bet?
I think it is, yeah.
Is it the most expensive coffee in the area? Or?
Probably, yeah, it's the only coffee in the area.
That's a fact.
That's the benefit right there. I am the only coffee cart in Wilton for weary travelers trying to commute to work, and I keep them from going to sleep and crashing on Dillard Road. Yep. Okay, so there's some benefits. And And then what could I expect if I come to your coffee cart? Like what kind of products or just?
Hopefully kindness, personability, and a community spirit.
Nice. Round of applause for Stephanie. I think it's great that all of you already know each other here and that you're filling in the blanks for other folks. So let's do a quick little bit of time on delivery.
And she recently started carrying dog treats.
And she has dog treats. Why wouldn't you mention that? We serve weary travelers and dog lovers throughout the Wilton community. Yes. All right. All right, so let's talk about, so that's something to work on. If you want to follow this template, those 4 parts can be done in 30 seconds or less. 15 seconds, I think, is too short. That's going to say, I do real estate. That's like, don't make people pull it out of you. Say something else that's interesting, intriguing. In fact, I'm the #1 selling realtor in these zip codes. I specialize in luxury homes. Give people something that they would ask you a question about. All right, let's talk about delivery. And this is, I'm just going to cover 3 things. There's so many things to focus on. But this is a one-on-one experience, right? Somebody asks you, typically like an event like this, hey, what do you do for a living? So who would like to volunteer to come up here and bring your sheet with you, your script, and just deliver your pitch to the group? And then we're all going to do an exercise called Make It Even Better. So now we're going to assess your ability to deliver with some credibility and enthusiasm. It's okay if you're not fully ready. I have a hand back over here. Okay, come on up. Round of applause. Just take your time. Just milk the applause. Just milk it. Just take your time. All right. So you are.
My name's Leanne Alves.
Okay, Leanne. Hold on 1 second. So I'm just going to ask you the question.
Okay.
Okay, and I want you all to be like someone she just met at a conference, and you asked her, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" And then I want you to watch her body language, her voice, right? So I want you to read the script, but try to deliver it as if you're trying to. In fact, look at me. Just do it to me.
Okay.
So it's a one-on-one thing. Okay. I'll give you the microphone. And then we're going to just make it better afterwards.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Okay.
All right. Leanne, hi. Yeah, DJ Drew told me that I needed to meet you.
Yeah.
But he gave me very little information about what you do. So can you just tell me, what do you do for a living?
So I help people achieve the American dream. I work with anyone that wants to buy or sell a home in California, but I specialize in Wilton and Galt. I really specialize with first-time buyers. I really connect with that buyer profile. Unlike others, I have more than 30 years in the industry, in the real estate industry, and I offer outstanding service, knowledge of the industry, and practical advice. So if you know anybody that's looking to buy a home, have them call me.
All right, round of applause. Woo! Okay, hold on. Hold the mic. Okay, very, very nice job. So what did you love about her delivery? Just shout out a couple of things. What did you love about it? Confident. Why was it confident? Why did it seem confident? She spoke very well. Okay, what else? Give me some more adjectives.
That, unlike others, that is so powerful, David, and it sounded so good coming out of your mouth.
That's his.
Yeah, but you had a nice answer to it.
Professional.
Professional. Okay, what makes her professional?
Well, she just sounded professional. She sounded like she knew what she was doing.
Mm-hmm. What's the opposite of professional?
Someone without confidence, and going, yeah.
Right. So
amateur.
What was that? Yeah, I didn't hear any ums or ahs. It was kind of like, hey, I am certain about what I'm saying here. Okay. Anything else that you loved? She followed the template really well. Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. So think about this. When you're doing an elevator pitch for somebody, they are qualifying you and they are disqualifying you. And it's okay. In fact, if I were you, you'd want to disqualify me if I live in like Stockton, right? I'm not going to be one of your typical customers.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I've worked the Stockton market for a while.
Okay. I'm just pulling out random examples.
But yeah, I probably, wouldn't go to, I don't know, the Bay Area. I don't know the Bay Area market, so I wouldn't go to the Bay Area, but
okay.
Anywhere around here.
So She did a great job with the content. Now, I told her to look at me, and she kept looking at you like, who do I look at, right?
Those are my customers.
So this is, this is what I see at a lot of conference networking. So you're going to be just turn and face me this way. I want them to see my eyes.
Okay.
Okay, and ask me what I do for a living.
What do you do for a living?
Yeah, I'm an executive coach, and I coach speakers on being more confident and clear, and I also serve.
Okay.
Can you, yeah. She's like, let me out of here. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
So with your eyes, and this is something we'll do this on camera if you want to do some on-camera coaching, but always start every sentence looking right into the eyes of the person you're talking to. Now, in regular conversation, you make eye contact about 50% of the time. And the rest is this, like, I don't know, let me think. It's okay to look away. Because if you track too much on people's eyes, it's like,
I think you're creepy.
this guy's a Terminator robot. He's not even blinking, right? So it's okay to look away, but start every sentence into the camera, or start every sentence looking straight into their eyes. Because that is you saying, I'm available to you. I'm not lying to you. I want you to know me. And body language is fascinating. You didn't do this, but you'll see people sometimes when they answer a question, and they'll close their eyes just for a couple of extra seconds, like, yeah, and we're the #1 provider of that product in this area. You ever seen that? It's called eye blocking. Toddlers do it. Like, yes, Mom, I did not take the cookie. Because they don't want to be seen, their soul to be seen. So your eyes are really important in the delivery. The other thing you did great in your delivery was her pace. She wasn't rushing through it, right? She wasn't trying to, I'm a train going 80 miles an hour, and you're a train going 60. I'm going to get there before you do. I'm going to lose the audience. Instead, what she did was pause after each statement. So what happens in a pause?
Hold on, trying.
What happens in the mind of your listener when you stop for a moment? You said something.
Well, they lose interest. I mean, you don't want to break contact with your client, right? Like when your phone rings in your pocket, you don't want to answer your phone. You don't want to. You want to stay engaged with them so they stay engaged with you.
Yes, exactly. Good advice. And what I'm going for is also when you pause, you give them a moment to process what you said. When you race through something without ever pausing, it tells the audience, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I want to get out of here, this is not comfortable for me. So that little pause is a moment, it's a cue to the audience like, did you get that? And here I'm setting the clock at 60 seconds, right? Don't go longer than 60 seconds. You want to race and get as much information. It's better, and even in yours, to make yours better. This is the grandmas playing with their children and all that. Take some information out, just so that you can have a moment so that grandmothers can play with their grandkids again. Pause, 2, 3. That's important, right? So here's how. See that little moment, pause? That's important, right? Oh, yes. Now you have their emotion, and now they're tracking with you, right? So don't try to pack too much sausage into the casing, right? In that, just leave out some words and you did a great job of that.
Thank you.
Okay? In your pace. And the other thing that she did well, I'm going to ask her just to make one adjustment. She's going to do it again for you. And we're just about to wrap up here. I want you to deliver this with 10% more volume. I just want you to louder. You're going to look at me again.
All right.
And hold the microphone, but I want you to take in more air. Just give me 10% more volume, and I want you all to watch and listen, see if it sounds different.
Okay.
Okay, so, Leanne, what do you do for a living?
Hi, I help people achieve the American dream. I work with first-time buyers, anybody that wants to buy or sell a property in California, specifically in Wilton and or Galt. And unlike others, I have 30 years of experience in the real estate industry, and I can offer you outstanding service, knowledge of the industry, and practical advice.
Woo! All right, what did you hear? I said I wanted more volume. What else did you hear? Power. Ooh, power. What else? Excitement. How did you know it was excitement?
I could just hear it in her voice that she was really proud of what she did and excited about.
Yes, because her voice wasn't like this. She suddenly went even up a key like this. Like, I'm excited. I said volume, but she almost went like a singer going to the next pitch up here. I'm excited. You all didn't see it either, but when she was looking at me, she smiled more. Her eyebrows started moving, which is like, I'm really feeling this, right? Now, she was holding a mic and her paper and stuff, but also with your gestures, get your body engaged. And people see you using descriptive gestures, like, and I'm telling you, I'm serving the entire Wilton area, right? Oh, it's not a very big area, no. So you have descriptive gestures, and we are the ones that will help you play with your grandkids again. Oh, I'm touching my heart. Oh, that's a subtle, like, everybody go, ah, scares me. So one more time, round of applause for Leanne. Very nice job. And if you need a realtor, she's the one to call. Thank you, Leanne. So just those 3 things to focus on your delivery: eye contact, voice volume, especially in a Zoom meeting. Nobody is loud enough when you're on your laptop. Speak up 10% more and people feel more of that enthusiasm. And then the pace, the conversational, comfortable pace with a few pauses, like that. And it gives it a moment to sink in. With that, we're going to wrap up here. Everybody feel like you got a little bit of guidance for your elevator pitch? Yes. Okay. So I want to challenge you. The next time DJ Drew brings you here, he's going to ask you, what do you do for a living? But it's a great way to invite people into a conversation so you'll sell more product, be more successful, and that's what it's all about. So thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. I hope you found that helpful. Anybody picked up some good tidbits?